Hey, welcome to I Drink and I Know Things. This is episode 16. I have to ask. Sorry, guys. And no, it's not too soon. Who gets the cat? I need to know. Embassy Cat is cool. He was the Twitter star, right? Like everybody followed Embassy Cat. Fuck Julian Assange. We don't care about his old Skeletor looking ass. We want the cat. Damn it. All right. On a serious note, British authorities today dragged out Julian Assange, founder and leader of WikiLeaks. Is that going to be the end of WikiLeaks? We're going to discuss that. What's going to happen to Assange? Let's discuss that. And is he a hero? MC has some hot takes on that one. How are you today, sir?
All right. I enjoy being the villain because that's what I'm going to be today, because Julian Assange is not and never has been a hero. And he never will be. I know a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people are upset about it. Cass is one of the people who disagrees with me. How's it going, Cass? But no, he's not a hero. Okay, just because he published some classified data that made the United States look bad. Okay, and that makes him a hero. Is that what makes him a hero? Well, he let people know what U.S. was doing in certain things. Okay. Right? How does that make him a hero?
Okay, but you support Project Veritas. Aren't they kind of the same type of thing? They're a group that leaks shit. They go undercover. They lie to obtain information that is not publicly available.
If they break the law, they should be held accountable. Okay? Did they break the law?
I don't know. They said that Project Veritas has broken the law. I happen to like both WikiLeaks and Project Veritas.
Well, I'm not up and down about WikiLeaks. All right. My problem is and has been Assange, because Assange is not a hero. It's not just a matter of he's publishing data. That's not the only thing he's been doing. All right. For example, if you read the indictment, like I showed today, they're basically saying that not only was he not just publishing, but he was actively helping in Manning grabbing the data.
Yeah. All right. Fine. That's the indictment charges. I get that. That will be argued in court soon enough, because the British are just going to hand him over to the American authorities under espionage charges, not treason. He is an Australian.
He's not even getting charged at this point with espionage. He's getting charged with computer hacking.
But here's one thing, though. I want to give a shout out to Madwoman Muses, because I watched her short little recap on this Assange thing, and she had some good information about the president of Ecuador who actually kicked him out of the embassy. It turns out WikiLeaks has published information saying that he is corrupt. Okay, Julian Assange, are you fucking stupid?
Well, it wasn't him. You got to understand that that's not him, though.
Doesn't he run the show? Well,
he is the founder, and you can say that he's the de facto leader, but he hasn't been in communication with his group for how long?
But if you're hiding in the embassy of this country and that president can boot you out, hold on to any dirt for a while, all right? How would you use that as leverage to get fucking a helicopter to land on the roof and take your ass to Ecuador? Get the fuck out of Dodge.
Well, the problem there, of course, is the fact that helicopters have a limited range, all right, so they can't fly overseas. Okay, so where's it going to land? As soon as it lands at an airport somewhere, they can snag it, because they don't have. That's an airport is not an embassy.
You could find private helipads. You could find a way to.
You could attempt to do that, but as soon as you try to find a private helipad, it's not like they don't know where those helicopters are. If they saw something like that, they would have followed it immediately. And when it landed, wherever it would have landed, the police would have descended on that thing like a freaking ton of bricks.
Are you going to answer my question,
out of
though?
the fucking sky, though.
Are you going to answer my question? Who gets the fucking cat?
I get the cat, motherfucker. That's who gets the cat. I get the fucking cat. Fuck you. That's who.
He's declared eminent domain on the cat. Cat's mine.
But all right,
Bitch.
Gunslinger. You haven't been on the show in a while, so glad you're back, buddy. What's your thoughts on this? And then we'll kick it back to MC, because MC's gonna light a dumpster fire, and I'm just gonna hand him some matches in a second.
Well, I'm not opposed to a good dumpster fire, so fuck it, let's light this bitch up. No, I actually agree with fucking MC on this. Assange was never a fucking hero. Really,
Okay,
you like
okay,
it?
so all right. You paused, so I went to talk because I don't like dead air. But go ahead, Gunslinger. Sorry.
He literally locked himself in this fucking embassy for 6 years and 10 months. Motherfucker, I'm pretty sure what the fuck sentence you would have gotten would been less fucking time.
Yeah, less time. But the thing is, though, okay, let's say he ended up in British prisons for the original rape charge.
No, Swedish.
Sweden, okay, Swedish prison for the original rape charge. Oh, Swedish?
Yeah, you got to remember this.
Does he get a flat screen TV in his room and shit there?
This is part of the whole EU thing, all right, where they all get along with one another, right? Sweden, he was accused of rape in Sweden, and in fact, the lady who brought the accusation has repeatedly said that no, he assaulted me, he sexually assaulted me. Which, I'll be frank with you, I'm not sure that these people even know what sexual assault is in Sweden. You know, considering some of the commentary that comes from them. All right, apparently, what Julian Assange is, the fact that he's a white male is probably why she thinks that she was sexually assaulted by him from everything that I've seen so far. Because obviously, if he was a Muslim, he would have walked free. But aside from that, with the EU, they have all these freaking treaties, all right, that you know, if a guy can't escape justice, you got to go through the EU court system, and that's exactly what was happening initially, right? Is he was accused of being of raping someone, all right? So they said, okay, he goes, I'm innocent, and there's no evidence of sex. I shouldn't say rape. I should say sexually assaulted. And they said, okay, we're gonna give you parole, right? We're gonna give you bond to go till you can get bail, basically, and you'll be on parole, all right? And then if you have to face these charges, I mean, you can fight them while you're here, but you're probably going to end up going back. And when they released him, he ran to the Ecuadorian embassy and claimed asylum. And the reason he did that was he got wind that the United States had indicted him, all right? And he did not want to be extradited to the United States, which is why he refused to leave. And when you read the indictment, you find out why. Now, we have to see what evidence they have, okay? I mean, it's obvious that with an indictment on that, you have to see the evidence that they've got with this. But one of the problems that Julian Assange has, all right, with the evidence that they're talking about, first of all, good old Bradley, he's in jail right now. Now, why is Bradley in jail right now? Because in the grand jury subpoenaed him to testify, and he refused to testify to the grand jury. So the court said, "Okay, you're going to jail until you sit up there and come to us, because you can be compelled to testify against people." Okay, so he didn't want to testify against good old Julian.
Well, can't he just plead the fifth and say, you know, it's going to incriminate myself as well? So
nope, he can't plead the fifth because they gave him immunity. If the government gives you immunity and says we're giving you immunity for any of your crimes, you can't plead the fifth because you're not going to incriminate yourself.
supposedly President Trump has ties to WikiLeaks, right? That's what the left keeps saying.
Well,
That's what the Democrats.
That's what they attempted to say. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what if Trump, just to piss him off, goes, you know what? Hey, Julian, I fucking whatever. Pardon you. You're done. Just don't come back on American soil and stay the fuck out of our way.
Could he do something like that? I think that he could do that, and he might. If he does it, it'll be for political purposes.
Well, I mean, okay. How's this going to affect WikiLeaks then? You don't think it'll affect them? Because according to you, they have had minimal contact with one another, which I disagree, because they're the ones that have been repeating any message from Julian Assange out. It's been the WikiLeaks people. So there's some way they've been getting information in and out of that embassy.
Well, I'm sure that they've been getting a certain amount of information. But
like,
as far as directions and things like that, no. I mean, it's easy enough to get out a statement. It's easy enough to sit up there and say, hey, can you tell this guy this? All right, and you tell an embassy staffer to sit up there and say, tell somebody this. That's fairly easy to do. It's another thing to be running the operation, to be running the direction of the operation. All right, because you're not going to give that information to a third party to hand it over. You need to be able to speak directly to those people.
Okay, so WikiLeaks will stay operating, do you think?
Oh, yeah. I don't think this is going to have any effect on the operation of WikiLeaks in any way, shape, or form.
How long will the British authorities hold Julian, do you think? Or are they just going to hand him to the American authorities?
He's going to go through the extradition process, however long it takes for them to go through the extradition process. Ask the British. Hell, I can't tell you how their freaking government works, or even how their freaking, legal system works right now. So I mean, as far as I can tell,
do you have that picture?
I have something. Would you like to see it?
Yeah. Let's take a look at Julian Assange, because he does not look well, folks.
Let me make sure that it's there. Yeah. Okay. Let me share this for a second. And I don't really have a picture per se. What I do is I have a video that we can play for it. How's that sound? There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. And,
tell me when you want me to hit it.
Yeah, go ahead and hit play. Go ahead.
All right. So you see they're dragging him out, and he is not happy. He is a bit angry.
Yeah, is that all? That's all they show of him. Like, you could barely see him.
Hey,
he doesn't look good though.
Hey,
how's it going?
Oh, I'm boycotting my planned trip to Ecuador, but except for that, I'm.
Add your thoughts here, right? Because we haven't really started arguing about this yet. I'm trying to get the facts out there and discuss it a little bit before we really dig in, because I think that a lot of the things WikiLeaks have done in the past is good. I think WikiLeaks has been a net positive. So what they're doing to Julian Assange kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm not happy about it at all. I do think he should be out of the Ecuadorian embassy, but that's because I think he should be a free man.
Could you imagine that being the first time you've seen sunlight in 6 years?
Yeah, it's.
Well, he was getting dragged out in the UK. I doubt he actually saw sun. Probably cloud.
No, I am.
He's got a point.
Yeah, I'm. God damn it! I don't know what's happening. There you go. Yeah, I'm not happy at all. I think it's a horrible display of power that is happening, and I think
why is it a horrible display of power?
Because the thing is that so what is he actually accused of?
He's accused of helping Bradley Manning break a code to allow him to hide the fact that he was delivering classified information to him.
Yeah, that's the United States.
Yeah.
That's not what he's accused of in the UK.
In the UK, he's accused of jumping bail.
Yeah. Okay.
Which
so
he did.
yeah, that's fine. But here's my point. He has been stuck in the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last, I don't know exactly the amount of time, he has been cut off from the world, being they didn't want him to go out on the balcony. They have cut him off the internet. And as we could see there, he hasn't really had any contact with the world around him, being that, people couldn't visit him and stuff like that. Not even not even his legal counsel were allowed to visit him.
That's only been for the last year or so, though, because Pamela Anderson visited him multiple times.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Right? For the last year.
Denying him counsel, though, there are some questions I do have about that. Actually, there's several questions I have about how the Ecuadorians handled this, because in my opinion, they did a shit job handling this. But that's not due to the fact, though, that what Julian Assange could have left anytime he wanted to. There was nothing keeping him in that embassy except for him.
If you see what has happened now, you know exactly what kept him in the embassy.
What?
The fact that he would have been arrested as soon as he left.
Okay, and he would face trial. So what? Is it worse now that he's going to face trial on a charge which has a maximum of 5 years in the United States?
I don't think he should face a trial at all.
Yes, he should.
No.
Oh, yes, he should. Okay,
No.
you guys act like it's okay for journalists to commit crime after crime, all right, just so that they can sit up there and put out a story that you happen to like.
No.
Did they commit crime in the Watergate scandal? They used secret sources and leaks to expose Nixon, didn't they?
There were people that were committing crimes, but what
do you think about
the journalists didn't.
What do you think about the Pentagon Papers?
What about the Pentagon Papers?
What do you think about them?
I think the people who sit up there and sent the Pentagon Papers out there should have been tried. If they could have found out who sit up there and leaked that information, they should have put them in jail.
What do you
If
think
the government can hide every single scrap of anything dirty they ever do, and leaking and being a whistleblower lands you in prison,
once again, whistleblowers only. Hold on a second there, because whistleblowers only sit up there and release classified information of a criminal or a criminal act. They out criminal acts, right? Was that the only information that Bradley released?
What about what Snowden released?
No. It wasn't. What did Snowden grab? He got a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah. All right. But Snowden has nothing to do with this specific case. So.
He does in a certain manner, but I'll get to that later.
Okay.
The specifics of what we're talking about now, though, Rat, you're correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what did he do to help Bradley Manning?
Okay, so what's your view on the people in the Apache helicopters?
Say that again.
What's your view on the people that were doing the Apache helicopter attacks?
What about them?
Should they be tried?
Why?
War crimes?
No.
Why not?
Because they're not. It's a war. You're sitting up there told to hit an area,
and they knowingly killed civilians.
That's once again, they are not civilians. Okay, you have no idea if they are civilians because they're not dressed. The people we're fighting against aren't dressed in a uniform, are they? So if you come back and say that they're civilians, then everybody's a civilian. No. You said that they were intentionally killing civilians. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. The people that they were killing, that they were trying to kill, weren't the quote unquote innocent civilians. There were innocent civilians that died. That happens in war. There is no such thing as a clean war.
No, I'm saying you're okay. They did the double tap. That's not okay. They killed the first responders. They were begging to shoot more people.
What are you talking about?
And they were laughing about it.
Lately, how that's releasing stress, but they weren't double tap. They were double tapping an area to make sure something was down. Yeah.
No, they circle around and kill the first responders.
The first responders, they think that they see people running up into the area. These aren't just you're making an assumption that these are first responders. They're making the assumption
there came a car that picked up the bodies and they shot at the car as well.
Yeah, of course.
I would like to see citations for this.
Okay, so,
no. Even if they do, you have a vehicle coming up to try and give these guys cover, which is what you're seeing in a combat environment.
Yeah.
Okay, that means you're part of the enemy.
And then it turned out they killed a journalist and
a journalist got in the way because we're supposed to be so sacrosanct to say that when a journalist embeds himself with the enemy, we have to take special care.
They weren't enemies. They were civilians.
No, they are not civilians.
They were civilians.
No, they're not.
Real quick, Rat, for the most part, I agree with you. But the problem with the journalists is if you're in a war situation and you're even embedded with you're an American journalist and it's World War II and you're with the Americans and you get killed. Is that a war crime? No. Your dumbass was on the front line.
Thing is, the people that were killed in that video were confirmed civilians.
Not all of the people that were killed in that video. Were there people that were killed in that video that they think weren't the quote-unquote Taliban? Yes. But that's not the same thing as saying that all of those people were just innocently going about their day and nothing was happening. And all of a sudden, out came the Americans just to blow up an area.
Okay. I'll agree with you. What power did those people have to fire back?
It doesn't matter. I don't care what kind of firepower. You go in with superior firepower. If you've got AK-47s and I've got a tank, I guess you should have brought something else to the fight.
That's why I say a tank in every garage. Anyway.
You know
what was that, Rat?
That specific situation was not a fight. The people were going on about their day, and then they got slaughtered.
No, they weren't just going about their day.
They
They were a group, and they started fighting, and then they got killed. They weren't just walking around, just happy-go-lucky people out there in the fields, just plowing the fields and just having a good old day. You act like, all they were doing is they were just innocently just sitting on the roadside and all of a sudden people came up. You know what happens when you come up on a situation like that and you start and you're looking for somebody specifically and then people start running around all over the place? All right, this is a war. This is not a civilian, we need to go out there and arrest people. You don't have cops running around or police officers running around, all right, saying, okay, we need to arrest this guy. We're looking for this guy. Here, let's show a picture. That's not the situation that you're dealing with. You're in a war situation. And somehow everyone believes that we can sit up there and make war so antiseptic, so perfect, that only the bad guys can get hurt. And what are the bad guys doing? They're intentionally, all right, going around dressing the same way as the regular populace so that they can hide amongst them. And the populace has no problem giving them that cover whatsoever. So when you come back and tell me that they're civilians, I'm going to look at you and tell you they're not civilians. They're the enemy.
Yeah, and then you have no grounds for saying that.
I have every ground for saying that.
No. You guys are illegally invading a country.
No, not tell me about the illegality of invading that country, especially when you got what law is there in war? Well, you know what, Rat? When you guys can sit up there and show me, all right, the great, grand, glorious international community taking care of Osama bin Laden, someone we've been hunting down for freaking over a decade, all right, and you come back and show me how effective you are in the international community from hunting all these other terrorists and preventing these attacks, you let me know. Let me know. Let me know when you go in there to save the Uyghurs, all right, that are getting massacred right now in China.
Would you say that the U.S. were very effective in taking down Osama bin Laden?
When we finally found him in fucking Pakistan, we were damn well effective, weren't we?
Yeah, we were also very effective in invading the wrong countries.
We didn't invade the wrong country.
Yeah, you did.
You act like the fact that he was in Pakistan the entire time, which wasn't true. Okay, no. You act like the Taliban, all right, hadn't basically, when the United States said turn him over, Like all of a sudden we just immediately moved in there that we didn't do anything. He's not only did we say turn him over, they said not no, but hell no, and you can't do anything about it. You guys, it's like, oh, you're invading this country. Were we fighting the country's armed forces then? Did that country's armed forces stand up and say, you know what, we're going to fight the Americans? Is that what happened? Did it?
Like, I'm like baffled right now. I'm saying, it's like, okay. So you invade Iraq.
We invaded Afghanistan first, but go on.
Yeah, but you invaded Iraq,
right?
And
under what conditions did we invade?
Under the pretense that Osama bin Laden, that Saddam Hussein was hiding Osama bin Laden, which wasn't true.
No, we did not invade Iraq under the assumption that he was hiding Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, you did. As far as I remember.
No, we did not.
I might have been too young. Okay. Anyway, you started talking about the WMDs that didn't exist.
No, wait, stop right there. They did exist.
No.
Yes.
They were never found.
Yes, they were.
No.
Yes, they were. There wasn't the massive stockpiles, but they were.
The WMDs didn't exist.
No, you are wrong. They did exist. Okay, explain me this, Matt. Since you want to play this game,
I want you guys to finish this line of thinking, but you're going off into WMDs. Cass, you jumped in to talk about Julian Assange, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was just curious because I did saw MC's video and I left a response, and I think it's kind of cute that he honestly thinks that somehow I think he's a villain in this.
I was exaggerating.
I know.
I am posturing. Rat even understands at this point in time.
Oh yeah.
So I would just be curious about MC. What exactly is your position on this, and what's your ire coming from? Because I'm a little bit trying to grasp what the problem is here with this guy.
All right.
In question.
If you look at the indictment, what's the indictment accusing him of? The indictment is specifically accusing him of intentionally helping Manning commit a crime, working with him to help him commit the crime. That's conspiracy.
Okay.
All right. And that's basically what he's charged with. So what is the government claiming that he did? Now, aside from the stuff that we know, we don't know from the indictment, that we have to see the evidence of. Right. And I will fully admit that we have yet to see the evidence of it. All right. I believe that they have the evidence, but we'll have to wait and see in the trial. Okay. Aside from that, he also sit up there and did a similar action with Snowden, where he sit up there and paid Snowden for that information and then helped him to flee the country, helping a fugitive that harmed national security to flee to a communist country. And before anybody says, well, there's no evidence of that, Julian Assange admitted that WikiLeaks paid for his plane ticket, purchased his plane ticket so he could get out of the country, trying to hide the fact, all right, that this guy who is now a fugitive was going to run because he was committing crimes.
Was it to run, or was it to get your source to where you could find out the information?
No, he had already given up a bunch of information. They wanted more of that information, so they were helping him spy.
I want to point out,
if you say that isn't true, then you can say that about every single intelligence operation that an enemy country runs in any country whatsoever.
I want to point out that Snowden didn't leak his information to WikiLeaks.
Snowden definitely did leak information to WikiLeaks.
No, he leaked the information to, what was it, The Intercept or something?
No, he gave some information to other people, but he also gave emails to WikiLeaks.
Oh, well, all right. I see the WikiLeaks sponsoring his ticket to Russia as a fight for freedom and for freedom of speech, but
it's not freedom of speech. You have it isn't him being a whistleblower either. And this is the thing that irritates me about the whistleblower thing. And the reason is because there are processes, there are ways to go. He didn't have to run, all right? Snowden didn't have to run to communist China, all right? With databases that he had downloaded, databases of data, in fact, copied entire hard drives to try and run, which are now in the hands of our greatest enemies. And before somebody comes back and says, "Oh, but they were encrypted," and he didn't give it over to them, they took they took those hard drives. Russia said that they took the hard drives, that they took that data. They gave him his laptop back, and he claims, but they didn't do anything with it, which is just absolute freaking fantasy land.
Or
I'm reading the chat. Rat.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. I'm reading the chat. Carl says, Assange did not help with spying. He may have made the idea more palatable, but he had no special knowledge nor skill sets that made him capable of providing help in gathering the info.
Oh, I beg to differ, because one of the things that they're accusing him of in that indictment was that Manning needed help to break a password so that he could try to hide what he was doing. And he handed that data to Julian Assange so he could take it and decrypt it and give him the password.
But you're basing that on an accusation, though.
I am basing that on an accusation. That is very true. But to say that he couldn't help them is a misnomer, because there are more than just one way that he could help them, and that is one of them.
MC, then Donald Trump hired hookers to piss over a bed in Russia.
No, hold on a second. Like I said, we have to see what the evidence is. I'm willing to wait for the evidence, but I'm going to tell you something right now. All right. They would not be going after him under that kind of a specific thing if they didn't have some way of proving it. And let me tell you something, and I mentioned this in one of my streams a couple of weeks ago. Julian Assange is one of Julian Assange's close associates in the WikiLeaks things, flipped and has been giving evidence, all right, to the grand jury, which is one of the reasons why the grand jury ordered frickin' Manning to come back and testify again. And when he found out about that.
I hate to sound like a lawyer for the mob, but a fucking rat jumps ship every day, man. Yeah. They probably captured this guy, and he's like,
"No,
fuck
they
it,
didn't." There's no evidence that they captured this guy. Okay.
All right. So I see. The problem is what I'm trying to decipher here is you have a problem with what this guy did, even though Facebook's been doing the same thing for like.
Did Facebook sit up there and go out of its way to crack classified information and help people crack classified information? Yes or no?
They're stealing personal data and selling it.
Well, that's another thing. What makes you think that I'm happy about that anyway? Do you think I sit up there and like the fact that they're illegally handing out data? No, I don't like that.
Yeah, I hardly ever use my Facebook. I've only been on it recently.
That doesn't justify, all right, what Assange did. I've been asked this question before too. All right, well, MC, you're supporting the government. You're supporting the government. Why do you trust the government? I don't trust the government, but I don't trust Julian Assange either.
What I'm saying is, I see a contradiction with this line of thought, though, because it's already been exposed multitude of times that the government likes to collect data on its citizens with the sole purpose of trying to stifle anyone from getting political power without that information being used against them. That's been exposed a multitude of times. So the government's been collecting plenty of people's information, sometimes from some people who are not even on the United States as it stands.
They're going to collect data on anybody that's not a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. Well, so the problem is why is it that they get to do it? That's okay.
I didn't say it was okay.
He does it back.
Why are you saying that I'm saying that it's okay?
Because to me, I see that point constantly ignored, especially since this is some weird fucking battlefield.
It's not being ignored. What are you talking about? It being ignored? How do you say that? That's not what the focus is at this point, because we're talking specifically about Julian Assange. That doesn't mean that I'm ignoring the other aspects that have been banned. I'm not saying that WikiLeaks is just an absolute horrible organization. Okay, I'm very specific that I'm talking about Julian Assange.
The thing I'm trying to say is, if we're trying to argue in terms of moralistics and laws, that can go off the window when the same people who are supposed to make those laws are going against those laws and are hypocritically enforcing laws against those who basically took their ideas and threw it back against them to give them the same treatment that they're doing to everybody else.
It doesn't. So two wrongs make a right. Is that your justification here?
Would you just sit there and take a punch in the face if someone punched you first?
Did anybody pinch Julian Assange?
What?
Did anybody punch
we didn't see inside that embassy. He didn't go willingly. I'm pretty sure somebody punched him.
He did get dragged out of that, but that's a separate issue.
You see, the only problem I've got with Julian Assange is he's a fucking idiot. The max, okay, he's being he's wanted for conspiracy, correct?
He's wanted for conspiracy, correct?
The max sentence is 5 years. He's been in that fucking embassy for 6 years and 10 months, almost 2 years more than he would have spent in jail if convicted.
Yeah, but here's the thing: he doesn't believe that he has done anything wrong. It's the same thing with.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rad. I interrupted.
Yeah, you have the same thing with, like, let's take Count Dankula, which is a very unrelated case, but it's applicable in this specific sense. He only has to pay what was it, like £500?
I believe it was 800.
Yeah, fine. He refuses to do that, and he would rather go to jail.
And they seized
Well,
it. Anyway.
Conspiracy can also be settled with a fine as well.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm reading. It does not say what the fine is.
But also, maybe he believes, and I would believe this too, that he will not get a fair trial at all.
Oh, I'm not saying he will.
And if
But
what evidence do you have that he won't get a fair trial?
will he get a public trial, or do you think it will be private?
No, it'll be public.
There's no way they can do it.
Whether it's a jury trial or not will be up to him, I think.
It will have to be public anyway because they want to make an example out of him.
Yeah.
So Carl says, as soon as you get into the woods of intelligence gathering, you can fuck off with any position claiming moral superiority. See, I'll also give that credence too with Styx and Tim Pool. I think they made the mistake of trying to make it a moral argument and not necessarily a conflict of interest and hypocrisy in terms of how the government sees it. They think they're okay with selling your information or using it against you for political purposes. But when someone else does it to them back, they think they have every right to enact justice, when in that case, it's not even justice anymore. That's complete perversion of it.
Just because somebody else is breaking the law doesn't give you a justification to go ahead and turn around and break the law yourself.
If the people make the rules,
you're confusing, and this is conflating. What you're conflating here is you use a term saying the government as if it's an entity unto itself. It's not. There were people in the government that broke the law. Those people should be held accountable. You can't just sit up there and I can't. You can say, well, they should be held accountable. Okay, then go out there and figure out a way to hold them accountable. We have ways in a democracy, especially because we elect these people
this is not a democracy.
Well, excuse me, in a republic, in a constitutional republic, we have representatives that we elect to do this kind of duty, to take care of this. Now, we have a problem, I grant you, in this country currently, but that's beside the point. It doesn't give someone else justification to break the law themselves. Just because somebody else breaks the law and gets away with it doesn't mean that you get to break the law and get away with it.
We're talking as if that there's two random people, like as if they're citizens. No, we're talking about the people versus a organization who makes these laws.
It's not an organization. That organization is made up of people. Is it not?
It's made up of people too, is it not?
No, the people is made up of people, and people break the law. Am I saying we totally go in there and roust up everybody in WikiLeaks?
No. The problem is when it comes to the government and its actions, they don't want to be consistent.
It's not the government and its actions. You're once again, you're conflating individuals within the government who don't want certain actions to come out.
Okay, then explain why they get away with their own crimes and they're never put into any form of
because we've elected the wrong leadership.
Okay, so what does that say about the government at hand? Is it for the people or not for the people?
It's not the government, it's the people.
Is it acting within the interest of the people, or is it not acting within the interest of the people?
The current
yes or no answer. Give me that answer. Is a yes or no answer.
Is the government currently acting in the interest of the people? The people in the government are currently not acting in the interest of the people. That's
then you never assume the government is acting in the interest of the people.
Exactly. And so the problem is you have the people making the laws who are not consistent with those laws. When it comes to journalists,
no. They're not consistent with the laws because they're not consistent.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
The journalists on their side of the aisle get to do some absolutely illegal and immoral shit all the time when they use information against people that never gets punished on their payroll. But if someone else who's a rogue on against their side does the same, we have that punishment being doled out in full force.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because somebody else is getting... At no point do you ever justify...
Then simply the word you said...
At no point do you justify your criminality because someone else was being a criminal.
Okay, can I chime in?
Sure.
I believe that really depends on the situation. If the crime that you are committing is in order to expose someone else committing a way worse crime, then I don't know. I would justify that.
Okay. Would you justify it if what you did then get somebody else killed?
No one else got killed.
Oh, yes, they did. With the data that was released by Julian Assange, all right, about Taliban and the people that were helping with the United States, that were working with the United States, several of those leaders, all right, were tracked down by the Taliban and executed for supporting the United States.
Yeah. And we had 2 fucking wars that were wasted and got thousands of people killed.
Regardless of whether or not we should have been in the war or not, we were at war.
You guys pulled out of the war as a result of the WikiLeaks.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, you did.
We never pulled out.
Yeah,
that wasn't why we pulled out.
Yeah,
that's not why we pulled out because we never pulled out.
We didn't pull out of Iraq because of that.
Yeah, you did. Because
no, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, there's a multitude of factors you can argue. That's one of the factors, though.
The Iraqi government wanted to do a trial on the people doing the war crimes, and America didn't want that. So
they wanted to change the status of forces agreement from what we have with every other single country to one of their own, and we refused.
Yeah, they tried to make their own new rules. And we said, no, you can't have your own new rules. Nobody else gets those rules, and they're fucking retarded. You can't have them. That's literally almost literally what they were told. Even the UN told them it was a retarded set of demands.
And so you pulled out.
Yes.
We didn't fully pull out, but we reduced forces there. But that wasn't the reason why we pulled out. The reason we were pulling out had more to do with the United States in our elections. All right, with Obama, the leadership that we had, than anything else. It wasn't. It's not like if for example, if McCain would have won the election, do you think we would have pulled out? Hell no, we wouldn't have pulled out. That had nothing to do with it. Now.
You would have probably nuked him if he got elected.
Oh, bullshit!
I don't think we would have nuked him, but McCain was a bit more hardcore in certain areas. That's true, but I don't think he would have used a nuke.
McCain was a warmonger, and I'm glad he's dead.
You know what? Jesus. I know this is off topic, but it's a question I've been wondering for a while. Did McCain have that tumor when he was running for president?
Yes. Most likely.
Yeah, most likely.
He had the specific tumor probably not because of how fast growing it was.
He probably got them in Vietnam.
However, he did he had skin cancer initially. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
And one of the things about where the skin cancer was, which was on his face and on his nose, when they gave radiation treatment there, this is one of the dangers of radiation is secondary cancers. All right, especially in the eye orbital. Their techniques have in the last 10 years have gotten a lot better in isolating and protecting the healthy tissue around the eyes. All right, from that kind of things. But at the time period when he had gone in for that surgery and that radiation follow-up, all right, that technology hadn't existed. It wasn't as good then. So it's very possible that was a secondary cancer due to the radiation treatment from the primary melanoma that he had.
Or it was just karma.
Or it was
yeah. Well, no, and Timma, your thoughts on the British authorities dragging him out of that embassy? That looked pretty bad, didn't it?
That looked pretty dramarific. And then he smiles and puts his thumb up. I think you guys are all looking at this wrong. These are some of the most retarded, lame ass, slap on the wrist, baby ass charges you could come up with. They're pulling Assange in to prove Trump's innocence on this whole fucking collusion thing once and for all. That's what this is. And Assange doesn't want to get involved. He's been kicking and screaming because he has never wanted to get involved in any government. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. No, listen to these charges. They are dumb as fuck. This is either the Democrats trying to posture and spank Assange for doing things that they didn't like, or this is Trump trying to get information that he needs and he's not going to try him. And he's going to be granted diplomatic immunity to live in America.
Either or, it shows a blatant disregard for consistency.
Well, it shows that Ecuador is as spineless as we've always thought Ecuador is.
Well, hold on.
By the way,
are we giving Ecuador money?
We have been for 50 years.
Hold on. Because what the reason Ecuador changed its policy was because just like in the United States, they had an election. You had a new person who was put in power.
Was Ecuador one of those countries? Sorry, Rat, to cut you off. Was Ecuador one of those countries where President Trump cut off foreign aid?
I don't know if he cut. No, he did not cut off foreign aid to Ecuador. Ecuador is not a migrant haven.
So very quickly, when I came on, I said that I thought it was like a vulgar display of power. And MC, you were wondering what I meant by it. One of the points that I was going to get to, but I forgot, was the fact that the Ecuadorian embassy was like, no, we're evicting him now because, I don't know, he didn't take care of his cat.
Yeah.
No, he didn't clean the litter box often enough.
Yeah.
They tried to accuse him of sexual assault with no fucking evidence back behind it.
Well, that was the original thing they tried to do with him in America, too, to get him here under Obama, was they tried to do sexual charges, and that dropped through the floor because everybody they claimed was...
We didn't level charges on Assange.
No, that was... Okay, it was in the media. They were saying that Obama had these sexual assault charges from these women, and everybody backed out. I don't know if there was anything actually drawn. I just know it was all over the media. I can't remember the details.
As far as I know, there was nothing ever done from the United States on the sexual charges. That came from Sweden.
The sexual charges were dropped as well. So
right, Sweden did drop the sexual charges, but he had already fled the custody of. He'd already jumped bail. He had already committed an extra crime.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think when you go when you go seek asylum, any kind of extra crimes they want to try to press on you after you seek asylum, you can't try people for them. That's some sort of war criminal protection. Who's me what's it? That's a
no.
Yeah,
that's why they want him back to the United States, is so they can hit him with those charges. And they can
here's the thing, though, guys. You got to remember, MC still. I can't talk him out of this. I don't know why, but he is okay with you being arrested. Your only charge is resisting arrest. No other charges. Your charge is saying I didn't do anything wrong. No, and you're like, fuck off. Well, now you're resisting arrest.
See, the problem, Mad Dodge, is the logic I'm seeing here. And this is what I was trying to get at too, but I'm getting this like Tonka style interruption every time I'm trying to make this final point.
Sorry.
Is not you. It's just it happens every time in heated debate. That's just me being an ass.
Okay.
Yeah, too much detail. The problem is at what point do you really care about the law if the law itself turns against you and it's not dispensing justice, it's dispensing hypocrisy? At that point, you have to say, you know what? If I'm practical and I care about freedom, fuck the law. were the revolutionaries? Did they give a shit about Britain's laws? No, they didn't. They didn't get their freedom by saying, "Oh no, King George, please give us our freedom. We'll promise to do it through laws." Fuck no. If an institution like this government force that we have here doesn't respect the people's wishes, allows illegal shit to happen, and punishes the people for being law-abiding citizens, then quite frankly, I think anyone with a brain cell would say, you know what, and rightfully so, fuck the law.
No, you
Fuck
can't.
it all.
You cannot run the United States as a constitutional republic, all right, without the rule of law. If you start throwing out the rule of law, then there is no law. It becomes anarchy.
You need proper balance. Where that balance is, I think only God may know.
Well, okay.
Can't exactly get anywhere by just saying that, hey, let's just subvert ourselves and keep being subservient to the same system all the time. That's saying
that's assuming that you have absolutely no other method, all right, to do this. And there were plenty other methods that could have been done.
Yeah,
really, they've worked so well exposing. They've worked so well with exposing Hillary Clinton. We've had so much accountability with the Clintons, haven't we? Or the Bushes, or the fucking Kennedys, or I don't know, any other major generational political family I can fucking think of.
That's
totally,
that's all well and good, but there has been, all right, things with the Clintons. Is it a perfect system? Are you expecting perfection every time?
Holy shit!
No.
Who was the last politician that was held accountable for some sort of fucked up thing?
Nixon.
How? How?
Torricelli.
The guy that
who the fuck is Torricelli?
Torricelli was the congressman from Ohio.
What year was that?
Take a look at the previous governor.
And, who do we look? And who is that?
Blagojevich.
Blagojevich.
All right. So
he got house arrest.
No, he didn't.
Didn't
he went to the penitentiary?
Well, after he ran he ran a reality show as well. You have to remember, going back not all that long ago, dude. I just brought up 2013 Size Video Gentleman, 1.2 billion views. I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, there seems to be a lot of things that are problematic now with this. A lot of toxic masculinity. I'm like, huh. Do we have an end date for being guilty on shit on the internet?
I want to point out that we're actually here to answer a very important question, which is, who gets the cat?
Dude, I was wondering that.
His daughter.
I like cats.
Motherfucker, I already said I get the cat.
No, his daughter gets the damn cat.
Can we rock, paper, scissors for it?
I get the cat.
No. We rock, paper, scissors who gets to see.
I get the cat.
No,
who
gives it to the daughter. I want to hold the cat.
You all saw what Julian Assange looked like coming out of that embassy.
He looked like shit.
He ate the cat.
He looks like me a bit.
He was desperate and he ate the cat. Nobody gets the cat.
I'm guessing that. I'm actually guessing.
Like I said, he doesn't look like the type of guy to eat pussy. Okay.
Hey. All I know is Pam Anderson. I believe she likes cats.
I believe Snow gets the cat.
Well,
wait, Snopes?
No, then the cat will get eaten.
It sounds like we're being stream sniped over the Twitch. So if anybody's watching on Twitch, Mad Dodge Productions on YouTube. Come check us out. Anyway, gotta shamelessly plug the show.
And no, if Snowden gets the cat will get eaten because Snowden's in fucking China, remember? The cat will get eaten.
He's in Russia now. He got out of the airport finally.
I thought he was in fucking China.
No, well, that's where he went first. Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped into China because they said we'll give you immunity, and I think he was pretty secure in his encryption and data protection because he went through 2 different countries and he keeps claiming that nobody's touched what he had.
He's claiming it, which is bullshit.
But I don't know.
But MC Edward Snowden, he must have been a patriot. He would never divulge or compromise information in those instances. He would take
wait
precautions.
a minute, he does. He did work for the NSA though, so I mean, we don't really know all of what Snowden actually is trained in either. So it's hard to say that he didn't protect that data in a way. I don't know.
He was a contractor, number one. Number two is the Russians have already admitted that they gave his laptop back to him.
Yeah.
Okay, if they seized the laptop, they grabbed the data.
Well, MC, they didn't say that. Maybe it just went through the X-ray scanner like standard protocol.
No.
Dude, okay. Whether or not, because earlier MC, I think you slipped up and said the Chinese, but whether or not it was the Chinese or the Russians, we all know damn well they went through that laptop.
I said he fled to China, which is where he first fled to.
Yeah, but he was there at the airport for like what, a day and a half?
No, he was in what are you talking about, in the airport in China, or in Hong Kong, or the airport in Russia?
I can't remember. He got stuck in an airport for a while.
Yeah,
but
that was in
it was
Russia.
Like he didn't stay anywhere very long before he got to Russia.
Well, actually, he was in China for several days.
That man stayed awake for 187 days to guard that laptop before he arranged.
He didn't. And what's more is that when he first fled to China, which was Hong Kong, he was actually in a hotel room.
Oh.
Yeah, and who was was there?
Wait, wasn't he lying about his location at that point because he was trying to not tell everybody where he was?
Probably. At this point, my only response to this is, why should I care at this point as to what punishment befalls the government for their own incompetency and stupidity?
Well, no,
and their own inability to actually, and their own inability to see that the repercussions by trying to be misauthoritarian all the time. Hey, like, at this point, if they're going to come after people, try to use people's information against them for political purposes, allowing people who are the foot soldiers of that, which is most of these journalists we bitch about every day, then quite frankly, if you're going to go and make a big deal about what I do in the bedroom and use it against me in some way, then guess what? I don't care if your battle plans get leaked, and that's going to cause casualties. That's
all well and good, because you're not one of the soldiers who are on that battlefield now, isn't it?
Oh my God! What? Again with the soldiers.
No. Well, no, with this community and stuff. No, man speaks passionately.
Well, and it's important because soldiers are Americans.
Yeah.
And a lot of us there are, I don't know, brother or our son.
Well, this often comes down to schadenfreude, because often people feel like they've gotten the raw end of the stick. So when something bad happens, and we can't forget that it's not just other folks, it's occasionally, it's not like Iran's ninja'd one of our drones or something like that. So, I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
Iran did ninja one of our drones, though.
But here's the thing, you guys. Julian Assange was in that embassy for 6 years. 10 months. Almost 7 years. Don't you think he could have snuck out at some point? Like, why did he end up in Russia?
I have a feeling they were watching him the whole time. I'm pretty sure that they kind of locked him up in that room.
Prisoners that were in Alcatraz that dug a tunnel quicker than that. Give me a fucking break.
One, we're talking about a guy that's always been upper middle class. This guy has always been upper echelon. He's a silver spoon kind of guy. He has no idea how to do real hard ground kind of stuff like digging and all that kind of shit. That's just not in his purview. His kind of hard work is totally different. Yeah. You know, his kind of hard work is a totally different definition of hard work than what you and I are going to consider hard work. Let's remember, that's his mindset. So trying to escape, no, he's not going to. He wants a gilded cage. He's scared.
Yeah, but that wasn't much of a gilded cage, to be honest.
It started out as such in his mind. He thought because, you know,
he never got the public outcry to say "Free Julian now."
Yeah, he didn't get what he thought he was going to get from the public right off the bat. I think
because the whole Libya thing was a thing, and then the Fukushima disaster happened after the tsunami, and then for 30 days, everyone's like, "Oh my God, is it going to explode, or is Godzilla going to rise out of the ocean?"
I really wish Godzilla
had risen. We're like, French bomber planes are in the air, and that was
MC, you can sit there and moralize about what I've just said about that particular statement, but where am I wrong then? Because if this is the
where you're wrong, because those soldiers.
Let me finish, Tonka Saw.
Well, then, don't ask your question and go on. Ask your question after you're done with your statement.
And the statement is.
Do we need a hand raising function?
Don't say "where am I wrong" and then go on with your statement. If you're going to make a statement, make the statement.
We're very rambunctious here, so just talk over us, because go on.
Yeah, the statement is, of the consequence of the action is compromising people's livelihoods and potentially putting people at risk for the sake of political power, then the same consequence could be applied to other people like the soldiers. That's not an issue of moralizing. That's not an issue of justifying death. That's a simple observation of cause and effect.
Well, they're doing their job.
And unfortunately, that's going to happen if they keep up the stupid path of being inconsistent, using people's information against them, saying that people should be punished because those people decided to break the same rules they did and use it against them.
At no point am I going to look at Julian Assange and justify, okay, well, they got people killed, so therefore it's perfectly justifiable if he gets people killed.
Well, I mean, for a lot of people, they don't justify that, but you're also trying to rebel against human nature as if people aren't vengeful.
Did anybody get killed from WikiLeaks disclosures?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Some spies ended up dead in the Middle East, and in the some old Cold War era spies and stuff ended up dead too. It was not a good thing for those people. It was a very bad thing for those people. Some of those were active assets that shouldn't have been disclosed. That was a poor choice on WikiLeaks' part. However, WikiLeaks and Julian Assange are necessary, whether you like them or not, whether you agree with their morality or not. They are necessary. Sometimes that kind of correction is actually fucking necessary. We need to be aware that this kind of stuff is being done by our government. And we forget if there isn't somebody out there leaking this stuff. And we forget if blood doesn't get spilled.
It's not the leaking that's the problem.
MC. We forget if blood doesn't get spilled. We forget. Because Americans are like that. If we don't have a righteous anger to attach to it, we forget about it.
The problem is, what is the price of freedom? It's not money. It's blood.
Oh, and what blood? All right, was Julian Assange doing?
What blood?
What blood?
What do you mean?
I'm going to be real blunt here. All right, Julian Assange ran into the embassy to hide. All right, was he actually risking? He wasn't risking anything. He wasn't actually. He thought he was going to sit up there and just walk from this after the criminality that he was committing. All right, he didn't care about that, and it isn't about publishing or information or looking for information or things like that. It's when you actively go out there to steal that information. When you're trying to harm, all right, the quote unquote government, not to find out what the government is doing, but to go out and seek out ways to harm the government. And that's what he was doing. Okay. And if you want to say he's harming the government, that's all well and good, except for the fact that the government is made up of people. Did the WikiLeaks care about the people who got killed? Did Bradley Manning care about the soldiers? All right, that whose lives that he endangered because of his actions?
Did the politician care about the lives of the soldiers?
Wait a minute.
All right, don't say the word, Cass, unless you tell me specifically who you're talking about. Then we'll have that discussion. Don't use that generic politician crap.
MC, Rat put something in the side chat. I want to read it off because it's quite a bit.
Okay. And I wanted to say, like, the lives that were lost from WikiLeaks disclosing information were not from Manning; they were from Snowden.
No. The ones in the Taliban that got killed were from frickin' Manning.
Were they? I thought they were from Snowden.
Rat has a source that disagrees.
Someone read Rat's.
Where's it from?
Oh, I posted a link at the top.
Yeah, there is a link here. This is from. It's from a website. I don't know.
It's courthousenews.military.
The title says military fails to link leaks with any deaths.
Yeah, in 2011, then Army Chief of Staff Mike Mullen had said that Manning and WikiLeaks might already have on their hands the blood of some young soldier or that of an Afghan family, named in the leaked documents as a source of intelligence to the United States. But Manning has insisted that he sent WikiLeaks only low-sensitive categories of files that he believed would shed light on the U.S. war fighting and statecraft. 3 years of journalistic scrutiny into the effects of the leaks could not uncover a case of intelligence source who was killed or injured because of the disclosures. The military's position took another hit Wednesday, as the former brigadier general who headed the Information Review Task Force investigating the leaks said, I quote, that he had never heard that a source named in Afghan war logs were killed. Though the Taliban had claimed that its review of the war logs led them to an Afghan whom the U.S. military named as a source, the supposed informant the Taliban claimed to have executed was not in fact named in the leaked material.
Now, let's talk about that for a moment. Okay. Would there be any reason why the government would try to hide that fact? Or the military would try to hide that fact? People that are working in those issues?
Well, no, but okay, here's another thing. Wait, no, because informants aren't generally named for their actual names when they're used as informants in these documents, people.
That is correct. In some cases, that's true. All right. In most cases, that is the standard procedure. You're correct.
So it would require further investigation.
You're making the assumption that your government wouldn't put it all front and center in order to take down Chelsea Manning.
No, I am. Yes.
Oh my God! You're making an assumption that we have just the Wicked Witch of the West as our fucking leadership. Hold on a second.
Do you guys remember the whole? What was it? On the date that was it Chelsea Manning ended up getting out of solitary confinement or something like that. Like 4 hours later, WikiLeaks is like, yeah, Julian Assange is probably going to get arrested really soon.
I think you're also failing to, without acknowledging that perhaps the government is also just ineffective and incompetent.
I
mean, these are factors as well.
And the government. There are mistakes that get made. Obviously, that's no one's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, for fuck's sake, there's been more than one example of a lot of this information, like also being the result of government incompetence too. That was also
that's true. But my question still hasn't been answered.
What's that?
Is there any reason why the government, all right, or that the officials that are working in this, from an intelligence perspective, would not admit that the Taliban had killed one of their sources?
No, they might not even know. It might actually be classified. Isn't that possible?
What I'm saying is, a lot of times, 90% of the documentation you find or you hear people talk about when it comes to informants, real names are not used.
Generally, that's true, unless somebody does something stupid like Hillary. But we'll go on.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Question. So that's not even accurate. From what I understood, there were people that died.
A black marker.
No. What I'm trying to point out here is that is that in those environments they wouldn't admit to this normally. They can't afford to, because one of the reasons why the Taliban would go out there and kill an informant like that, all right, is to demonstrate that the United States can't protect them. So therefore, if it gets to be known that the United States can't protect them in that kind of a war environment,
look at fucking Benghazi, MC.
We're not talking about freaking Benghazi. We're talking about freaking Afghanistan. Stop bringing up other shit to just cloud the issue.
Well, didn't you bring up other shit too?
So,
I didn't bring up anything else. I'm bringing up something very specific.
But think of the soldiers.
Hold on.
Because you mentioned the soldiers. Oh, did you forget that already?
So my answer to that would still be they wanted to make an example out of Manning, and so this would have been perfect if they could find out that Manning's disclosures actually killed someone.
No, they would not.
No, they actually
sacrifice those people.
They didn't want to make an example out of Manning.
Didn't Manning also sign a piece of paper saying that you're going to be accessing like high level like clearance and stuff, and say, I will not disclose this. If I do, I could be subject to yada yada yada. Did all the things that he saw that's as major issues, did he go through any particular chain of command, due process, protocol?
No, he did not.
No,
he didn't.
Agreement.
Well, I mean, what would be the point of that exactly?
No, because there are supposed to be actual methods in place for you to like go through a process to solve particular like underlying things that could be major issues or like moral grievances. I thought
those moral grievances that never get addressed, even if they are private or not.
But what I'm saying is, if he had gone through the process, if nothing was actually addressed, and then all of a sudden he did his actions, that might give him at least better justification because he at least made a good faith attempt, which
might
end his career.
But here's the thing, MC. I'll stay on topic for you. Okay, here's what you're talking about directly, right? You're talking about the government. Why would they disclose that those people got killed? Well, then why did they disclose that those people got killed?
Yeah.
And try and charge people with it?
Because
you can't have it both ways.
You're talking about two separate situations and two different groups that are talking here.
Hong Kong.
Okay.
Oh,
go on.
I'm just responding to that little meme right there. Don't mind me.
Oh, he's trolling you with a clown meme, I think.
Yeah.
Honka.
Oh no, we were responding in the chat to each other.
Yeah, I just said that with my voice because I thought
we
it was
were
funny.
trying to let you guys have your debate and still be interactive. Sorry.
No, you're stealing that from Doug. It's Skeeter, his best friend. Honk honk.
No.
Okay. How am I misconstruing?
Culturally appropriating Skeeter.
Said that the government.
You're acting as if the government is a single entity. It's funny how you deal.
Single entity. A military is ran by somebody.
Then who specifically are you talking about?
We're arguing in terms of scale. The reason why people say the government and the people is to address the scale. That's not.
No, but when you talk about criminality, okay, when you talk about criminality and you use terms like the government or you use terms like the corporation, what you're losing focus on is the fact that there are people that should have been charged, and then you have to look at why aren't those people being charged, and each one of those is going to be because of a specific situation. There's no two situations that are ever going to be the same.
I can fully acknowledge that, MC. And well, hold on, let me just get this in real quick.
Coming out and saying that nobody died
because he doesn't want to admit
the government admitted it.
The reason you don't do that is you're trying to tamp down the claims of the Taliban.
So it's semantics.
All right, you're trying to you got troops in the field.
So from MC, I'm hearing we're arguing semantics. From
no, it's saving face. No, you guys are arguing scale, but MC's talking about.
The problem is the reason why he's having this issue with the word of scaling has entirely everything to do with these are just individual circumstances. Well, if that's really the case, and explain why that all these particular politicians that we've been bitching about for years get away with these crimes.
There seems to be a pattern of folks in positions of power where something happens.
And you have to examine as to why is it that some of these people do? Why is this happening? You've got to examine it and then go from there.
Is the system
but you're not answering. You're not answering my question.
Yes, I am.
Military general said that
because he's trying to protect.
Another said that they didn't.
He's trying to prevent
because one general is protecting his troops on the ground. All right, another general is somewhere completely divorced from that.
Okay, can I ask you something?
No, they don't all know, and they don't all communicate that way.
MC, can I ask you something about this thing? Do you know that they didn't find any names because they were trying to protect them?
Do I know? Am I saying? Do I know that they didn't find names?
Or he's asking for an actual verified
do you know that, or is that just something you assume?
That's something that's something that I know.
Yeah, okay, so this is something kind of like a lot of people know because we watch crime shows or we know people in law enforcement and things like that. In America, typically, our informants, even for law enforcement, their real names are not used unless they've been arrested, and that's how they become an informant.
But there is a document. There are documents that show real names.
I mean, if the informant is dead, wouldn't they just show his name off anyway?
No.
Wouldn't there be a debrief?
No, because then their family could get killed.
Oh, that is true. See, that's where
not only could his family get killed, but the fact is that you don't want to admit, all right, that you can't protect your sources.
Well, see, that's the problem then is since the United States government is making this accusation, they can't even prove it. publicly.
Well, that does create a problem.
Yes,
I'm not going to deny that. I agree. I agree with you that does create a problem. It puts people in a bad situation. But there is no good solution. Sometimes you have to deal with the situation as the situation exists.
The problem is that even if we were to concede to the fact that WikiLeaks caused some casualties, and if the fact that the government can't even bother to release this information for the numerous fears and concerns,
we'll stop right there. It's not that they can't bother with it; is that they don't dare.
They don't dare. Yeah. Either or. It means that unfortunately, all the American populace is going to see, and understandably so, is some guy getting jailed or attacked for the simple fact that
that's true. But the American people aren't dying for it.
Okay, I want to make a statement here real quick. Whoa. So the same thing with like what's going on with Julian Assange and the debate we're having right now. It would be like the same to draw a parallel. Let's say release the Mueller report with no redacted information whatsoever. There's a lot of personal information that might not necessarily be pertinent to the investigation itself. Julian Assange essentially has done the exact same thing of releasing a Mueller report without information being redacted, and has harmed people in his little crusade to do so.
Okay,
so real quick, MC, I'm almost done. So as far as I'm concerned, Julian Assange did put people in unnecessary danger because he acted recklessly, because he was on his own little crusade to expose the government, for better or worse. Mm-hmm. So as far as I'm concerned, he committed a crime. Whether you think that was a good thing or you can rationalize it, say it was had some benefit, exposing the man, exposing the deep state. That's all well and good, but it doesn't change the fact that what he did was reckless, endangered people's lives, and he committed a crime. So I'm sorry. Yeah, the guy's guilty of a crime.
See, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see whether or not he's guilty, depending upon the evidence that's presented. And I want to make something else very clear. My problem with Julian Assange is not the fact that he published this data. Okay? My problem with Julian Assange isn't that he was publishing the data. My problem with it is he was assisting in a conspiracy. Because we have no way of knowing the real reason that Assange even published that data. Suppose that he was a mole for the Russians. Suppose the reason he was doing this is because he was a Russian mole asset, all right, and was doing it strictly for the purposes of harming the country. I'm using this as a theoretical.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe that. Okay, I'm just putting this out there.
Okay.
All right, before your head explodes at Tema.
It's all right. We have enlightened minds here.
Damn it, MC! You almost gave Tema a heart attack. Jesus Christ.
Carl says, but again, from the top, Julian Assange is not an agent of the U.S. government, nor is he even a citizen of the U.S. Not to mention, he was not even on the U.S.
Okay, but does that mean as the Russians can go ahead and do it, since they're not citizens of the U.S., they should be allowed to come in there and try and gain access to classified information and use it as they see fit? But they get charged with it, and they get caught, and they get held accountable for it.
No, yeah, the problem is that Julian is. Yeah, we put sanctions on each other all the time. We tell each other to give each other money, and we pretend it's not really aid.
The specific spies we catch, we put in prison as well, and we do spy exchanges and things like that.
Wait. Are we? Is this a market now? Is this like an underground spy market?
Kind of.
I hate to say it, but probably there's more truth to that than I want to admit.
There's a whole like intelligence commerce thing that goes on.
There are exchanges, and they have talks where they give me this guy, I give you that guy. We play cards with people's lives all the time.
So
Carl responds with, "Well, if you're taking that moral high ground, then we need to start rounding up our own spies."
Well, okay, but here's the problem. Here's the big fucking problem. Julian Assange is only guilty of doing what everybody else does without a government backing him.
If you show me another freaking person who sits up there and does this, then they should be charged too. I won't change my stance on that.
If he was actively assisting, because that's the difference here from what I see, rather than just being sent an email, be like, oh, look at these beautiful files.
If it turned into something like the plumbers, where the plumbers freaking sent a manila envelope with all this classified data to the New York Times, okay, then if that's what they're doing, if that's what WikiLeaks is doing, then that's fine. But when when the journalist goes out of the way to say, for example, let's say that a journalist has Fred. I'm just going to call him Fred. Fred, the person in the State Department. We'll just use this name just as a generic, okay? And the journalist, of course, knows who Fred is, knows that Fred will give him information. And so he gives them information. But if Fred then turns to the journalist and says, hey, I need you to purchase this for me so that I can break into this other room, okay, to get this data, as soon as that journalist does that, that journalist has committed a crime, all right, because he's not just getting data anymore, he's helping to commit the crime itself. He is actively involved in committing the crime now.
Well, even the newsroom covered this in one of their episodes because their tech news correspondent, all of a sudden, he was given a whole bunch of government files. And then he's like, oh, I asked for more. And it's like...
As far as I'm concerned, with all the accusations, because this is all accusations, I think it's best off to wait and see until there's more information, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case. They've been making these accusations for years, and they almost never back anything up.
In this case, I think they got a lot more information because they flipped one of Julian Assange's close friends and associates in WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
Well, obviously not a close friend if he fucking turned on him. And second, once again, a rat fucking flees a sinking ship every goddamn time.
Is WikiLeaks sinking?
Julian Assange sure as hell is.
Well, Julian Assange is, yeah, but that doesn't mean that what reason
he's WikiLeaks?
Is what? Is he WikiLeaks? He's not the only person on WikiLeaks. In fact, WikiLeaks works fine without him. WikiLeaks will continue without Julian Assange.
So how do you think Assange is affording everything he's doing, sitting in that embassy and taking care of his family in another country? Don't forget, he has a wife and a kid. No, he's still making money off of WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks isn't floundering at all.
Oh, people will probably give him money on Patreon. He'll probably get booted.
I don't think he gets money.
I have a feeling whatever profit WikiLeaks get, he also probably gets a percentage of that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Carl says, all I ask is for moral and ethical consistency. If you're going to cheer Assange for being arrested, then you should be screaming from the mountaintops to round up all of our other reporters.
No, because they're not all doing the same thing. If you
really
can prove, yes, really, show me another reporter who's handing over information or who's trying to help assist this guy commit the crime.
I think you had a slight Freudian slip there because all of a sudden you realized the media.
No, I'm not having a Friday.
And all is a very.
There's only one reason why I might disagree with Carl on this one, and that's because we don't have any real reporters left. Who's actually doing the legwork anymore?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look at CNN. Look at CNN. Oh, we're going to show up 30 minutes before fucking Manafort's arrested.
I agree. But did they assist that guy into giving that information in any way, shape, or form? If they did, if you can prove that they did, all right, then yeah, I'm all on board going after these guys. I'm all on board for going after all the people who leaked that information. I would love to find out who it was.
Saying in the other scenario we were discussing.
Carl just dropped a name. I wonder if you guys know anything about this particular name.
Geraldo Rivera had to be removed from Iraq. He was mapping out troops. Yeah, he's still allowed to be on TV. In fact, isn't he on like The Five or some shit?
I remember him live from Iraq, and I'm like, I'm looking outside of where our troops are positioned, and I'm like, I can see the rest of that city, or at least a decent bit. I'm like, if I lived in that city and I saw that, I'm like, if I wasn't a fan of U.S. troops there, I might know where they are.
Yeah.
It seemed like an unnecessary fumble error.
Geraldo or
he did it like 4 times, though. He did it like 4 or 5 times. It was like...
Didn't anybody tell him?
He did it on purpose. That's why he was removed, because they were telling him and he was refusing to not do it.
Well, see, that's the problem. The issue is that the media themselves don't really always follow the procedures. They're always under fire for that reason, is that they don't follow laws, they don't follow the procedures. They outright facilitate a lot of the things they complain about other people.
Let me ask a question. What in that situation? What law did Geraldo Rivera break?
What?
In that case that we were talking about.
He didn't break any actual like American law. What he did is he violated protocol for national security through contracts he signed with the military to be there.
But the thing is, it's like if you have guys in that shot too, they're also there.
No, he endangered. No, he endangered American. No, he did. He endangered U.S. troops, and that is a crime.
Guilty of kind of having a dumbass moment.
Shut up, memes. Okay. Here is the example I pulled up earlier, but we have a fuller panel now and a few more people watching. Once again, Project Veritas. They snuck into Planned Parenthood facility. They didn't sneak in. They came into Planned Parenthood facilities under false pretenses with hidden cameras. In some states, it is illegal to record somebody without notifying them. Oregon, I believe, is one of those states. If Project Veritas broke that law, which I believe they got arrested, right? So they did break a law.
They got arrested, they got charged, and they went on trial for it.
And they were found not guilty.
No, one of them was found guilty actually. I think it got overturned. I think one of them was overturned on appeal though.
If it's a two-party state, it's
But it was for journalistic purposes, so there's some sort of special clause. The only negative thing I have to say about Project Veritas is how dare you unleash Laura Loomer on us?
Well, I happen to like Project Veritas, but
I love Project Veritas. I don't like Laura Loomer, and I would really appreciate if they take her back.
She is a beautiful young woman.
She's Ashkenazi Jew. She's such a catch. I know. Such a cat.
I have that.
I don't know what that means.
Oh my God. She released a series of tweets like the summer before last talking about how she's such a great catch because she's Ashkenazi Jew and she's this, that, and everything else. And I was like, holy fuck, nobody cares. And that was at the same time she was pretending to date Baked Alaska. And it was like, you guys are retarded. And it was all really dumb, and I thought they were all fucking.
Wait. Is that how Baked got into this whole thing?
No.
Wait, hold on. If I marry Laura Loomer, then how many ounces of gold do I get as my dowry?
You have to ask her.
Is that still a thing? Is dowry still a thing?
Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, it might be.
The catch.
So
of
all the people that I would suspect would derail this dream, I never thought it would be a Tema.
That was funny though.
But no, MC. Why I keep bringing up Project Veritas is because they leak shit too, and they're pretty much the rights version of WikiLeaks. You can't have it both ways.
No, I can't. I'm not asking for it both ways. Did I ever say that these guys shouldn't be charged with a crime? Did I ever say that Project Veritas, if they break a law, shouldn't be held accountable to that law?
Oh my God,
Carl. It's
Carl.
an organization. It's a collective of individuals, and then we all exist within another collective of individuals within collectives within individuals and collectives within collectives and groups and stuff.
I feel like I'm talking to Sargon, who keeps.
You mean we live in a society?
That was actually when after he created the Liberalists, and yes, I know, cringe, but the whole thing after that, I looked at it. The best post on it was Vernaculus. Because it was so good, but I disagreed with his ending. He's like, he's like, it doesn't seem like there's a point or something. So I disliked it. But I remember it was so accurate in so many ways. I butchered what he said.
I thought the whole weird wording between Sargon and collectivism individual is kind of weird. Because I think he doesn't really get that it's not a literal thing. It's a philosophical point.
It sounded very buttery coming from his mouth, though. So it sounded.
You guys are going to have to talk to each other for just a bit here. I'll be back.
And I like Carl. I like Carl's statement here in the chat. Laura Loomer, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is responsible for making hate fucking a thing. Yeah,
that is true.
It's not. He's not wrong.
So, Tema, I take it that since you never been with Bunty King, you never realized how much he likes to eat booty like groceries, huh?
Well, there's nothing wrong with being a scat man if that's your thing.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you like a little bit of Nesquik, there's nothing wrong with that.
She left. Whoops.
Well, no, I mean there are people that do it. That's the thing. You got to remember Rule 34. It's on the internet. There's porn of it.
We're very tolerant here. We don't kick shame on.
That was surprisingly good, Rat.
No, thanks.
Just imagining a Netherlands-based Viking just freaking or Norway. I misnationed you again, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you bigot.
My apologies.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the stream now. I feel so hurt.
I know you have a thick coat. And that cape it's +5 against my dragon attacks.
You know, hey, I'll give it to the panel this time. You guys lasted an hour and a half before derailing it. So, bravo. Congratulations.
I'm actually surprised there was actually a lot of talking about something without a lot of derailment. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Just too bad we had to have the bootlickers in here.
Yeah, as long as we're not talking about Star Trek.
What's wrong with boots?
No.
You want to talk about Star Trek? Oh shit! Don't get me started.
I don't talk about B-list sci-fi.
Now that I'm here, the state of, let's see, Chicago, not the state.
The state of Chicago.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought he's going to go into grand epic speech. It's like the state of Chicago. It was a dank and windy day.
Chicago is suing Jussie Smollett.
Good.
Yeah.
No, in that circumstance, I say fucking good. Yeah, actually,
people are pissed.
That's for once I see a level of consistency that you almost never see.
I do want to bring up the other guy that got arrested today. God damn it, I'm gonna butcher his fucking name. Avenado, is that how you say it?
Avenatti.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
creepy porn got arrested a while ago.
He got arrested again. This time he stole money from a class action suit involving a quadriplegic. Real class.
Hey, wait, hold on. So he was arrested, he got out on bail, and then he committed another crime?
Is he retarded?
Yeah, it's like that scene.
Was this a crime in process? And
you remember the scene from Liar Liar? Stop breaking the law, asshole. Somebody needs to tell this guy.
I love the driving scene. It's so good.
Well, let's be honest. Michael Avenatti is not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer, so to speak.
But he's talking about running for president.
Talk about being stupidly greedy. Just fucking seriously?
First, you try to extort a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation, and then you steal money from a, what would you say, class action lawsuit involving a quadriplegic?
Yeah.
Good job, bro. Good job, guy.
I'm thinking we might find him getting arrested perhaps very often, because I'm like, this seems to be a frequent occurrence for this gentleman. And if he's been practicing law for a while, and if this has been a consistent thing for a while, this might not be pretty. Guy may go down as literally like a meme of destruction.
People are really incapable of fighting against
or just a typical Democrat.
Real quick, to wrap it back around to the title of the show, I know one guy's not getting the cat.
No one's getting the cat. The cat's already being eaten. It's over there.
I thought it was his beard.
So as soon as they arrested him, the cat's gone too. Why? Well, someone stole it from Meow Mix.
You know what? I'm gonna sexually identify as Vietnamese, and I'm gonna sue you for defamation, and I'm gonna hire Michael Avenatti as my lawyer.
Oh yes, we got special meat for tonight. What's the special? It's called Information Stealer Meow Mix.
Can he practice from jail? Because you're allowed to send letters, right?
Yeah.
So please tell me we're talking about Democrats and how it's
Michael Avenatti. He got
so
arrested again. He was scamming a quadriplegic.
It's always the Democrats.
It is. It's always the fucking Democrats. Don't you know?
Always.
My nuts.
It is. It's always. It has to be.
Always a Democrat.
On this show, that's who we tend to highlight, it seems.
I'm here to fuck shit up. That's my only job.
Oh, hey.
Well, no. Okay. All right. So this is a class action lawsuit, right? I don't know how much it was really. Let's say 40 million. He gets like what, 40% of that as his fees, but he decides to steal all of it. What a cunt. I mean, you fucking greedy bastard.
It sounds like he may have been running a Ponzi scheme because he always seemed to need money to pay for other stuff and things. And to be fair, as long as you have continued business and stuff like that, like Bernie Madoff made off with like $60 billion before anyone really noticed.
Yo, you know what's good?
Do you think he was sitting around laughing about his name and getting all that money? Like,
maybe it was a clue.
Oh, dude, come on, let's be honest. Anybody that's a remotely decent judge of character, and by that I mean you're not legally blind, just looking at Michael Avenatti, he looks like a fucking scumbag. Anybody that would trust him is a moron.
Yeah.
He really does. Like, I expect him to be the subject of AMC's next season of Better Call Saul, because he is just a shitty fucking scumbag piece of crap.
So Saul set him up?
Well, if he keeps getting the business for being such a con artist, then I think you already know how lowly the average person can be.
Well, he's not a very good con artist if he keeps getting caught, now is he?
Well, he's still making the monies, apparently.
Well, no, I figure, he'll end up in prison and he'll have a nice long career helping people get off of death row, right?
Oh, I see why we're talking about this guy. It's because he represented Stormy Daniels, and nobody likes a porn star.
Yeah, he's the creepy porn lawyer.
What? I like those actresses.
Donald Trump and all that.
Evidently, Michael Avenatti likes a porn star.
Well, he liked his ex-girlfriend too much.
Well, he also lost the case for Stormy.
He's also a Democrat, so that's the worst.
No, actually, he's just a retard.
It's the worst of the worst.
Actually, as a Democrat, you should be pissed he's a Democrat.
I actually don't give a fuck. I don't have a party. I actually don't have a party.
I don't either.
So that's great. Keba, you want to read off what Carl said in the chat? It's fucking hilarious.
My cat is a Democrat. She refuses to even clean up her own shit, expects food and housing for free, and I am sure she wants a degree in underwater basket weaving. But she only has one eye. So we got to make lots of compensations for her.
Damn, sounds underwater like basket weaving. Underwater basket weaving actually sounds like it might be a useful skill.
It might be global warming and all that.
So it
sounds like a libertarian to me because the cat is expecting everything to be paid for it.
They also attack your ankles when you're
that's not how a libertarian works.
Libertarianism at all.
Nobody understands libertarianism because they want to mischaracterize it because it makes them uncomfortable. It makes people uncomfortable to think that, holy shit, I'm 100% accountable for everything I do is terrifying.
It's more like everyone thinks that ANCAP is all of libertarianism. It's just
and ANCAPs are retards. I'm sorry.
I think libertarianism falls along a very broad spectrum.
What were you saying, Rat?
I can't remember. I'm just wondering if the cat is pulling itself up by the bootstraps right now.
It's Puss in Boots.
No, she just chews on the bootstraps. Does that count?
Hey, can I go to Norway and get some of that sweet college?
Wait, I thought that was Bernie's talking point. Aren't you supposed to be a libertarian, not a socialist? The fuck?
Hey man, libertarians are just Republicans with bongs.
We are fucking not.
You fucking are.
Next person that says that gets booted.
Yeah, what did she just say? Sorry.
She said libertarians are Republicans with bongs because the vast majority of the libertarian movement isn't atheistic at all.
No,
I'm pretty sure I saw this.
I would go with the line that libertarians are conservatives with consistency.
I would say that
I saw this scene in a movie called Super Troopers. So somebody hand Mad Dodge a pistol. Somebody's going to get pistol whipped.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Meow. That's
shenanigans. Not Meow. Not right Meow.
Can I just point out, I just searched Julian Assange cat and about 18,900,000 results in 0.52 seconds. I just want to point that out.
Everybody wants
Julian
the cat,
Assange
dude.
had a cat, and the internet is really worried about its fate. USA Today 5 hours ago.
Wow, when the internet is more concerned about the fate of your cat than yourself.
Holy fuck! Oh. How is it our joke is actually a fucking news article, guys?
Because this is the power of the internet. Come on, are you saying you guys didn't know the power of cats on the
We
internet?
live in clown world. Honk honk.
We're worried about Julian Assange's cat. USA Today.
Just take what we've learned from the internet and we need to apply it to real life because we're fusing somehow. And like this is a very odd. It's like going through puberty. It's like, oh my god,
what's happening?
Somebody tweet this fucking episode at USA Today because they're worried about the cat too.
About well, what was his name? My brain's fucking up.
Oh my god, he's got a bow tie! Oh, it's adorable. No, my cat.
Dude, I'll take the cat. I don't even
like a girl memes.
What?
It's
adorable.
Like a girl.
You didn't scream. He squealed.
That's what it's
He's adorable.
That's a normal tie, not a bow tie.
The cutest cat with a Twitter account. Wait, is its name Ashley? I don't know.
Maybe.
Holy shit! I just had an idea. Is Julian Assange secretly a Skrull, and his cat is actually Goose, and we're living in the current Marvel universe?
Oh, the cat is actually Assange. The cat's actually been the one tweeting.
It might be.
Assange is the fall guy.
Scroll down and freeze frame on that picture because that's what I wanted to show everybody earlier.
He looks like fucking.
No, not the cat.
What?
Assange.
Oh.
I don't know. I want to go back to the cat.
Oh, he looks like Jean-Luc Picard.
No, he doesn't. He looks like Kevin Spacey with hair and a beard. That's kind of unnerving. Whoa.
Ew.
He looks like the old man from The Old Man in the Sea. He was like Australian.
Holy shit! Is he pretending to be Ahab?
It's looking for a white whale. All right.
Which one is Assange? Wait. Which one is Assange again?
The guy with the white. It's the dude in the tie.
No. I mean, like, what did he do again?
He's the founder of WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was
He's official.
Cat. No, look at that cat. That cat looks terrified.
Look at that. He's
wearing a collar. He's not used to a tie. It's awkward if you haven't worn it for a while.
Is that Sir Pounce? It's Sir Pounce.
He is currently looking out the window, looking at his owner who gets dragged away by the police.
He looks like he was about to get a job application, but then the FBI raided his place.
He's like, who's going to feed me?
Oh my god, what's the
GoFundMe?
Does anybody know how close the embassy for Venezuela is to the Ecuadorian embassy?
What?
But there's probably not a functioning embassy for Venezuela in Britain right now.
But hopefully,
hold on. Someone take the picture of that cat and put that one jack off slogan. What was it?
Wait, the cat doesn't have a name. It's Embassy Cat.
Be big, be bold, be good. Whoever that jack off was, like, put that on that picture of that cat.
Oh, he's got 31,000 followers.
I'm actually kind of look at that.
Like the cat's more fucking popular than all of us put together.
Yeah.
Damn. That's
he has an Instagram.
Everybody loves the
especially
pussy.
you, Mad Dog. Especially you.
Especially you. Man, you're being harsh today, fool.
Why can I just not give a fuck about Instagram?
Oh my god, that's another. Is that the same cat or is that a? No, that's a hidden picture.
MC, have you seen my fucking
Oh, he's
Twitter,
tired.
No, I haven't.
He looks terrifying.
Yeah, it's awful.
I have not been on Twitter for a week and a half now, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's good for you, man.
Wait, you guys have a Twitter? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh.
What was the tag of the embassy?
It's my fault.
What's the tag for the embassy cat memes?
It's just Embassy Cat.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. Carl, David Letterman looks like Gandalf the Homeless.
and since he's doing that, and while we have time memes, take off the tutu, all right, and put the beard back on.
The fuck are you talking about, dude?
I'm talking about memes squealing like a girl.
It looks so cute. Look at the cat. Oh, the cat's wearing a tie.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, memes, you're fucking gay.
We're gonna rip on you for the next week over this.
Memes, you're fucking gay. And I'm gay, and that's fucking gay.
I'm having a gay old time.
Gay.
So, Michelle Obama was recently visiting Norway, and they had like a meet and greet thing where you could pay like $700 to meet the woman.
That's cheap compared to what the fucking artists charge. Like,
wait, Obama's a woman?
Like, rock show artists and shit. They have meet and greets and shit.
How many people showed up? Rat?
I don't. Let me see if I can find it.
Did they at least get like breakfast?
Like for instance, they have a Kiss meet and greet. It's $1,000.
Is she popular in Norway?
What?
No, not like very. Like, she's not unpopular in Norway, but I don't think most people give a shit about her.
I wouldn't pay for that shit regardless.
Man, y'all are all getting ripped off. I'll have a everybody meet me at my local bar and buy me a.
Let's see. You could pay between 5,000 and 7,000 kroner to meet Michelle Obama.
I don't want to fuck Michelle Obama, therefore I don't want to pay for it.
How many first ladies would you pay that much money for?
None.
Okay.
0.
It doesn't seem like a huge market.
How many first ladies would you pay to sleep with? Is that what you're asking me?
What?
You're asking how many first ladies would you pay to sleep with? That's effectively what you just asked her.
No, Rat was giving an example. MC, you're getting a dirty mind in your older age.
I'm not getting a dirty mind. You're talking to Wolfshot.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
So am I just supposed to assume we're just going to hump everything?
No.
Maybe that's my bad.
Why would I? No, there are no first ladies that I.
Well, no, excuse me. Hashtag not everyone.
Well, I mean, Jackie Kennedy back in the day, she was hot. I'd maybe bury the bone.
I ruined a potential relationship with a gal that kind of looked like.
But everybody else is a very hard no.
How did you do that? Memes? Did you squeal?
I'm not drunk enough for this shit.
Wait, you know what? If I was Julian Assange, I'd be a little pissed off. I just got dragged out and arrested, and everyone's just worried about a fucking cat.
Because no one gives a shit about Julian Assange.
I don't think the cat... Actually, wait a second. If the cat actually published those cables and stuff, is that cat a murderer?
That's right. The cat did it.
It was a ruse.
The Penguins. Julian Assange is a puppet for the Penguins.
The cat is entitled to due process.
Basically, Captain Marvel is a propaganda film to get us used to the fact that the alien overlords are coming down. Is that what you're saying?
Dude, Goose is Kiss money. Sorry.
Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Did they know this was going to happen? That cat is going to like become super famous. Both cats.
The cat in the new Pet Cemetery. That was the best part about that fucking movie.
Still haven't seen it.
You mean
the cat dies. Yeah.
Were you cheering for
the cat dies in the original and in the short story? I would assume the cat dies.
Well, the cat came back the very next day. He might be a skeleton, but the cat came back the very next day.
Mad Dog, you never read Pet Cemetery. You don't even know how to fucking read. Who you kidding?
Man, talking about abuse. She's on a roll tonight.
Are you talking to me or memes?
Mad Dog, you don't know how to read.
I don't know how to read.
You said Pet Cemetery. Have you read Pet Cemetery? Like, for real?
Yeah.
You should have been yelling at me.
I read a fucking book that was 4,000 pages about the rise and fall of Rome. Fuck you, Wolfshot. I don't know how to read.
Did you have that mommy help you?
One word with a page. It's amazing what those Crayolas will do.
Where the fuck is Pinoid, man?
Wait, didn't they get rid of my favorite flavor? I mean, color.
Somebody get Wolfshot some of that special Kool-Aid from Jonestown.
That was Flavor Aid, not Kool-Aid.
Flavor Aid.
Yeah, and they weren't like just giving it to people. They were literally giving it to people.
Oh, was that the stuff in like the little plastic containers that had like the aluminum foil-ish type top?
Got it. Memes, I fucking hate you.
Oh. I'm sorry I fucked up your inhale.
All right, MC, you said you had another story that was pretty good you wanted to talk about tonight. Let's cover that as the last one.
Are you sure?
Okay, so I fell out because I was stupid, so I'm just going to say the Kool-Aid line again, and then you guys can react the way you did.
Memes, I fucking hate you. That's all that happened.
Oh.
Because he thought it was one of those little hug things, the
little barrel thing with like the crispy aluminum foil on it.
Meme, shut up.
They're abusing poor memes. Poor memes that have.
Well, they're forgotten. No, that's why Mad Dodge didn't think like he was being yelled at because there's aggro going other ways right now.
Okay. Are you ready for this story?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let me get back over here and share it. Ex-Obama White House counsel charged with lying in lobbying probe. Former White House counsel Greg Craig was indicted Thursday on charges of making false statements and concealing information in a federal foreign lobbying investigation that intersected with the Russia probe. Craig, 74, was charged in a 2-count indictment that accuses him of willfully concealing information, material facts from the Justice Department about the work he performed for the Ukrainian government. The indictment, announced by the U.S. attorneys for the District of Columbia, came a day after Craig's lawyers said he was expected to be charged in the probe spun off from special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. So when Robert Mueller said there's no further indictments, he lied. Because obviously there was a further indictment that was on its way, and this is something that has come out of this, and they're charging him basically with the same crime initially, all right, that they charged Manafort with. Now that's not saying that he's going to have the same. All the things are similar because they also got Manafort on separate counts of money laundering and also tax evasion and stuff.
I didn't think it was money laundering. I thought it was failure to declare yourself a foreign lobbyist or something like that, and then it was tax evasion.
It was tax evasion, and I think money laundering as well as part of the tax evasion charge.
Taxation and stuff.
Shut up!
I hate it when they say tax evasion is money laundering. I hate it when they bundle those two together like that because they're actually two separate crimes that generally don't work together very well.
Well, it depends on whether or not you are taking steps to hide your money. Because if you're taking steps to hide your money in a money trail, that technically is money laundering. But it could be you're also trying to avoid paying taxes on it, so it could be considered tax evasion as well.
Yeah, or it could have been he didn't pay enough in taxes on some sort of conversion for the money, and that's what they're getting him on.
Can I just point out that Embassy Cat retweeted RT UK News. RT's at Natasha Churchnia reports as a source close to at WikiLeaks says Ecuador cut at Julian Assange's internet over Catalonia crackdown tweet. Can I just point out that the Embassy Cat has retweeted Russian news? Therefore, since he's citing Catalonia, we must assume that this cat is a Russian troll.
Russian bot.
It must all be true. I think we found the source.
This is the source.
Somebody alert Rachel.
So wait, the cat is Guccifer?
Wait, isn't that the name of the cat in Captain Marvel? Goose?
Goose.
Oh my God, we found the pattern. Guys, I think we solved the mystery. The
if only Robert Mueller would have interviewed the cat.
Well,
all of this would have come out. We would know what really went down.
Well, wisdom can come from strange places.
It was just a missing from the cat.
Cat be like, I can't talk. I will die.
We cracked the code, kids.
Don't come for me.
You think cats aren't manipulating us all? Ain't Jack, you're just behind on the curve. You just got to be okay with it is the thing. I'm just kidding.
That's why there are some people out there. They're not really big fans of cats. It's because like a dog will love you, they'll just slobber and stuff. A cat will stare into your eyes and look deeply into your soul.
So it's looking at you, going, "When do you die, so I can start eating?"
That does occasionally cross my mind as things that are going through its head.
I like it because my cat isn't up my ass. I don't have to walk my cat. I could just clean the litter box once a day. I don't have to worry about.
Cats like walking.
No, but I don't have to. I don't have to go exercise the cat and go to the cat park and buy the cat toys so we can go to cat play parties and all that stupid animal shit that everybody has done with dogs.
Oh my god!
I have kids.
I need to drink more.
You need to scroll down a little bit.
Who?
Memes.
Memes.
Just,
scroll down. Let us
scroll down until you get to
Wait, where am I going?
Oh. Ooh. Okay. So you're going down to the Courage Felines tweet.
Oh, that one? Oh.
A little bit more. Let's see. Just a little bit more. You're almost there.
That looks like my cat.
Cats.
Where am I going? What am I looking for?
There, I think you were there.
Okay.
No, maybe not.
So
it's like Courage Felines for every cat shows whatever. A little bit down from there. You're almost there.
All right. Wait, down? Oh, wrong window.
What are you doing, Memes?
Okay, the next one. Look at the picture.
Oh, that is amazing.
Larry the Downing Street Cat, the most successful British political figure in 2016.
Archie line for every cat shows the way 3 humans will follow. Oh, those are people.
Yeah, it's,
Jesus me.
It's Assange, Manning, and Snowden, and
Wait, are those mimes?
Fuck!
Or are those statues?
They're
I'm not familiar with the mime community.
They're statues.
I need more information.
Well, one thing's for sure, they're preparing the news.
Yo, I hope I'm gonna watch SNL for the first time in a long time this Saturday. It's gonna be great.
Assange put his cat into his cake. I'm making assumptions here.
Great. Drink more.
At least she has her priorities recognized.
Cat photo, drink.
The cat's had a Twitter for a long time. It's had a Twitter for longer than me.
This asshole is sitting here talking about a cat with Twitter, okay?
Have you been on the
I'm not allowed
internet?
to talk
You
about
not seen the
SNL.
title?
Not
The
just any
show's
cat.
all about the cat.
Is it
That's what
really?
we care about, obviously.
Is that really what it's about? Oh, it's about the cat. Oh, excuse the fuck out of me. I don't know how to read, apparently. According to A. Jack and the cat, who ate Jack fucking shit, you faggot fuck.
Wolfshot, I think you need more cute pussies in your life.
God damn it, I hate my life.
Put a dick in it.
That's all I
She's on
need.
the show for 20 minutes. She's already hates her life.
That's
I've
all
done
I
my
fucking need is
job.
some good dick, and I'll be cured.
Wait, Bear Dog, I thought you liked pussy.
I do. I love it.
So what
But
do you- what do
someone
you have
said I
against
need
the
a good
cat?
dick. I have
maybe
anything
the-
against
Oh,
cat.
you don't have to. It's individual personal choice.
I have 2 cats. I have one Bengal and I have one mutt.
Maybe the pussy has a dick. You get the best of both worlds.
Do
She
you
might.
walk the Bengal?
Do I walk the Bengal? Yeah, on a harness.
Yeah, the cat.
Wait,
They're one of the
no,
cats. Is like
no,
my
but-
ex Mrs. Memes had a Bengal and she could walk her. My cats didn't like to walk.
Memes. I don't care about walking cats. Shut the fuck up. MC, that story you were talking about. All right. How did they caught him? Because there was a crossover between investigations. Where was the crossover? Does it say?
The crossover was that it was initially discovered because of the he was working also with Manafort, and so during the Manafort investigation and the testimony from there, this Larry Craig was one of the names that they came out with, along with Tony Podesta, John Podesta's brother.
Oh, really? Podesta's brother, huh?
Podesta's brother?
Yes.
So we're getting charges of conspiracy then, right? Stealing information, acting within conspiracy. But
No,
right now,
this is something completely different.
Okay.
This comes out of the Mueller probe.
The Mueller probe.
Mueller. It's fucking Mueller.
Mueller. However you want to say it.
I'm gonna say Mueller just to piss her off.
I mean, you can call it that, but you're wrong.
Where's Ben
That
Stein when
would
you
be
need
the
him?
correct way to say it.
But you're wrong.
Mueller may be the correct way to say it, but everybody calls him Mueller. The same as Peter Strzok is not Peter Strzok, it's Sturzak.
Oh, like Mueller and Scully.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, that's the mimetic. That's why people's minds go there, because they're like Mueller. It's like, no, that's Bueller. It's like, if we like him or whatever, it's like Mueller.
Like see, Mueller. This is why no one takes you people any fucking serious.
Oh, well, I was just thinking that.
I'm sure that's not the only reason. It's just one of many.
Well, isn't it kind of funny that Attorney General Barr may actually have researchers combing through YouTube watching videos that may have covered particular topics, that may lead down certain trails, that may have them gather additional information, let's say.
I just want them to come and arrest me.
Just real quick to address Carl in the chat. Carl does have a brother, Tony Podesta. He's the guy who runs Comet Ping Pong.
You're Daft Punking a lot.
I thought that was my end.
I heard something about pizza.
Yeah, I don't know.
The ping pong pizza place or whatever it's called?
Yeah, that's the place.
Restaurant.
That's the place John Podesta's brother owns.
Oh my god, is that the Pizzagate conspiracy?
Yeah, the Pizzagate place.
Oh my god, yeah. I hate everything right now.
I thought you liked your governor. Or was that your lieutenant governor?
I am which one? Which one?
No, wait, wasn't it the governor, it was the deputy governor, and then like the AG or something?
They're all like blackface or something like that. Blackface people or some shit.
I believe one was a black gentleman.
No, the lieutenant governor is black. He got accused of sexual harassment.
Yeah, and then the other guy is the blackface. Northam is blackface. I thought you were talking about Cuccinelli for whatever reason.
Who the heck's Cuccinelli?
Cuccinelli, actually Donald Trump is considering him for some fucking position. Immigration position. Yeah.
I figured as much, honestly.
He was a shitty ass person. It'll be great. It'll work out really well, I'm sure. Just like Herman Cain and the federal board. I don't know how to run a pizza store, but fuck it.
Oh my god, I am so looking forward to him
Godfather was good pizza, I had heard. But here's the thing. We must remember that Donald Trump appointed Rick Perry, the head of a department that he forgot in one of the debates.
I mean, you do what you got to do when you don't have hair.
Ron Paul was giving the best responses. He's just listing a bunch of other agencies they should close. He's like, no, not that one. Go on, Ron.
Let's attack PBS, then.
Beautiful thing.
Big Bird is a fucking cocksucker.
Okay, I guess you didn't get the memo. HBO bought Sesame Street because PBS dropped it.
No, because HBO paid for it. That's why.
No,
HBO paid.
Oh no, PBS is running.
Did Donald Trump just kill Big Bird?
No, PBS is running scared from Sesame Street right now because they've had something like 3 or 4 actors, like the puppet people in the costumes, be busted for sexual assault on children.
Yeah, but HBO is still paid an obscene amount of money.
Oh, I know, it's retarded, but no, that's why PBS is. That's why they put it up.
They'll keep doing that.
Have puppeteers that can avoid harming children.
PBS sold Sesame Street.
Yeah, you know that thing that's publicly funded, and government funded. Yeah, they sold something and made a profit. That sounds.
I just realized something. Basically, what you just told me was that joke about Elmo and like South Park was real after all.
Wait, I'm unfamiliar.
Sad but true.
Elmo the pervert.
And OPB should be shut down, and you should create a private network for that.
No, PBS should be what displays C-SPAN and all the different channels that are run.
There you go. Why is C-SPAN on cable and not on the local airwaves? I like that idea. There you go.
No one gives a fuck about your idea.
Just imagine what's next. Kermit sexual assault charges. I'm could call for that boy, Pussy Billy.
I personally think that they did charge him with bestiality, but I guess I was wrong.
Well, they got the Elmo guy, so why not?
Oh my god.
Elmo's World.
Come on, Beams, squeal. Talk about how cute he is. It's like an elbow doll, right?
Did get Elmo.
Bitch, my name is Elmo. I'm gonna rape your little butthole if you keep talking shit.
The Elmo actor who resigned from Sesame Street last month is oh jeez.
Hey, memes. I heard they're making a part 2 for Deliverance. You should audition.
Does this mean Sesame Street is a bunch of Nazis now?
Does it mean that they're Nazis, or does it?
No,
does it
I
make,
just have concerns. It's going to turn into adult content only.
either that, or it's on the Vatican, news channel.
Wait, you're concerned it's going to turn into TV.
I have HBO. There's a kids area on HBO. There's not very much shit there, but it's there.
Brought to you by the Vatican. The Pontiff has
a kids area on HBO. That's terrifying.
If you have the HBO streaming service, they have fucking TV shows.
Fill you with the Holy Spirit.
Can I just see that Grover definitely didn't drop an F-bomb on Sesame Street?
I can just imagine that.
Grover is accused of dropping the F-bomb in an episode of the show.
I'm not
based
drunk
on
enough
video
for
of the
this
scene,
bullshit.
he definitely didn't. Why is this a story?
I'm not drunk enough for this.
From Cookie Monster and Big Bird, Elmo and Grover, the puppet characters are as iconic as the show itself. Why is this the top thing that comes up for Sesame Street News?
Was Avenue Q older than?
I love Avenue Q. It's so
Jesus
amazing.
Christ! Is it older than Sesame Street, or the other way around?
What the hell is Avenue Q?
Avenue Q is essentially Sesame Street, but for adults.
They combine it with South Park.
Yeah, that too.
I haven't seen it, so I think I'm safe.
It's a musical. That might be why.
It's a musical?
On
Oh
Broadway.
God, fuck that.
Oh God, fuck that. The two faggots in the room actually.
Oh, Avenue Q, isn't that where the internet is for porn?
Yes.
From?
Grab your dick and double click for porn.
It's fucking great.
It's fucking great.
Whatever you say.
Oh, that was the same summer as
no.
999.
Hold on, what's wrong with Broadway? Tell me what's wrong with musicals and shit. Tell me.
Nothing's wrong with Broadway.
I need to know.
The modern musical coming out is generally retarded and has no good story or talent in it. Now,
okay, Rent was SJW before SJW, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, but there's the Blues Brothers. That's good.
That's Broadway?
No, that's a musical.
But it's on Broadway, therefore it's Broadway.
Well, no, there's adaptations on Broadway for stuff like that. But
Avenue Q was off Broadway, so was Hamilton way back when it first started.
Hamilton is one
okay, well, off Broadway is where the vast majority of plays occur. Broadway's pretty small.
I like Broadway. I don't have a problem with Broadway.
Never been there and never would. I'm not there in New York ever.
Yeah, there are only two spots on the board, them and Park Place.
God damn it, memes.
Go vote yourself.
No. I don't know. I honestly said the F-bomb. That's fine with me. I thought that would be fucking hilarious.
Kermit and Grover are saying the F-bomb?
What'd be funny is that Kermit just steps on a fucking nail, goes.
You know that meme or that Vine where like something happens and they throw that Kermit over the fucking edge of whatever? Yeah, that's my favorite Vine ever. I'm sorry. I need to get drunk.
You should be sorry.
Yeah, I am sorry. I'm very sorry. Today has been a really shitty day.
I'm sorry. Honestly, it was better in the manga. How the arc of Kermit's suicide was much better written.
Cass is fun. Take it over there. He knows what's good though. He knows what's good.
I forgot actually. Irate, Prostate, and Big Fat Brian are streaming right now. So
fuck, what are they streaming?
They're doing a movie review.
Yeah, another movie review. They do a good job. So I'm gonna jump off. That way, you guys should go head over there and show them some love because they have a good fucking channel and I enjoy their shit. So
and Brian and Irate are two of the coolest guys on the internet. Just not gonna lie.
Absolutely. Go tell them Mad Dog sent you. Take it easy, guys. I think we're gonna sign out right now. They started about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, they're doing Logan's Run. That's what they're doing. Logan's Run. Okay.
Yeah, and Logan's Run is a bomb ass movie. So I really want to watch this one. So yeah.
Yep. All right. We're out of here, guys. Good night. Good luck, and don't go to France. And hey, This sucks to be Julian, huh? Yeah, we're out of here.
Father Time.